What does this iceberg have to do with how you should think about your IT budget?
Gartner research shows that most IT departments spend almost 90% of their budget just to keep the lights on. That leaves very little funding for projects that could move the needle for their business. So where does that money go? Most CIOs can tell you, without taking a breath, exactly how much they spend on annual vendor maintenance support fees. You know that support for your ERP software is expensive, but in reality, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's say you pay your vendor an annual maintenance fee of around $2 million. That's your fixed cost. When you start doing the math, you'll find more wasted dollars. Now consider that vendor software upgrades are required every 5 years or so to retain full support. You have to upgrade in order to stay supported, whether or not valuable features and functionality are included. If you implement 2 upgrades every 10 years at $4 million each, based on an industry average, that's $800,000 per year. Next, you have to allocate resources to manage customizations because your vendor doesn't support custom code. You have to delegate full-time employees or other resources to maintain your customization. That's your internal team taking care of that, or perhaps an outside consultant, but somebody's taking care of that and it's not the vendor. On average, that's another $600,000 annually. The next is really critical because many organizations fail to calculate the cost of the resources needed just to maintain your applications. Issues your vendors can't fix are researched and solved by your team. More staff or managed services that you have to pay for because of inefficiencies within the vendor's support model. For example, the vendor provides you with literally hundreds of fixes, even though you may need just one. You have to review, assess, regression test, and manage hundreds of fixes when you just needed the one that might fix your problem. The burden is on your team to make sure that bundle doesn't create a ripple effect and cause even more business disruption and wasted cycles. That amounts to roughly $600,000 per year. When you add all of this up, the total is more like $4 million per year, compared to the $2 million that you have allocated in your budget. Let's see what that looks like when compared to moving to third-party support with Rimini Street. Start with the first benefit of letting us take over the maintenance of your systems, which drops your annual maintenance fee in half. Since you can remain on your current release for at least 15 years, you don't have to pay for an upgrade if you don't need it. You save on internal resources and the time it takes in fixing problems since we support all the custom code. And in terms of maintenance, you reduce the time and money spent regression testing and going through the patches since Rimini Street provides configuration support tailored to your specific deployment. We cover all your support needs and these costs now go away. See the savings? You are paying a quarter of what you pay per year to stay with your vendor. Makes it a lot easier to write that maintenance check, right? Now let's talk about what you could do with the dollars and the people that you have freed up. Why not move forward with building out your hybrid IT architecture, big data, and new projects that will truly change the game for your organization? Bottom line, if you exit the vendor support cycle for 3, 5, 10 years, we maintain your ERP systems while you pocket a ton of money for innovation. Down the road, you can revisit your ERP strategy, whether that is to do a rip and replace implementation with the same vendors you worked with before, or embrace new solutions that are not yet on the market. Don't believe the math? Get your customized savings calculation today.